Russia attacked Lviv, launching 2 hypersonic ballistic missiles, killing at least 7. Ukrainian Foreign Affairs Minister urges allies to speed up the transfer of anti-air defense systems.
Delivery of air defense systems to Ukraine must be expedited.
Despite the ICC arrest warrant, Putin visited Mongolia and didn't get detained. Hi, I'm Eva Kucherenko and this is United 24 Media. At least 7 civilians were killed in a Russian attack on the western city of Lviv. Among them, 2 children, reported the regional governor Maxim Kozetsky. 64 people were injured. The Russian army launched a combined strike. In particular, the city was hit with 2 Kinzhal ballistic missiles. September 5 is declared a day of mourning in Lviv.
This is enormous destruction. More than 70 houses in the city. They are all historical heritage.
This morning, Russia also attacked Kryvyi Rih, injuring 6 people. Among them was a 10-year-old girl, reported the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Lysak. The attack damaged a hotel in the city, the second such strike on a hotel in recent days, 4 educational institutions and high-rise buildings. At least 53 people were killed as Russian forces attacked Poltava's Telecommunications Institute with ballistic missiles on September 3rd. More than 298 were injured, reported the state emergency services. The search and rescue operations is still underway, with at least 5 people still trapped beneath the rubble. The 6th-floor building of the educational facility was partially destroyed in the explosion. Earlier, the Ministry of Defense spokesperson said the intel suggested that Russia used 2 Iskander ballistic missiles.
Lectures were taking place when at 9:08 a.m. the air raid alert sounded, so everyone was on their way to the shelter. A few minutes later, the explosions happened.
Ukraine's foreign minister Dmytro Kuleba called on Western allies to speed up the supply of air defense systems to Ukraine after Russia's strike on Poltava. This was stated during his interview with CNN.
The main lesson that I want everyone again to hear about, and we will not get tired of reminding of it, this is just another reason why delivery of air defense systems to Ukraine must be expedited. So I don't know how many more tragedies like this have to occur for all promises to be fulfilled and for all new commitments to be made.
After a Russian ballistic missile strike on Poltava, Latvian President Edgars Rinkēvičs called for the lifting of all restrictions on Ukraine's use of Western weapons. On his X page, he stated that this is not about escalation, but about the survival of innocent people. Ukraine needs not only allies' permission for strikes deep into Russia, but also appropriate weapons. According to Volodymyr Zelenskyy, Kyiv is working on obtaining permission to conduct long-range strikes on targets in Russia with partners who have the appropriate capabilities.
If one of the countries allowed this, and we have received such messages through diplomatic channels and the media, then we need to understand whether that country has supplied us with such weapons. We do not only need authorization, we also need to receive weapons. We haven't received everything which we'd like to use.
Romania is to donate a Patriot air defense system to Ukraine. After Romania's lower house of parliament approved the draft bill, President Klaus Iohannis is expected to sign it into law. Bucharest decided to supply Kyiv with one of its 2 operational U.S. anti-air systems, a part of 5 such strategic Patriot units pledged by NATO partners earlier in July. Irish Prime Minister Simon Harris arrived in Kyiv for a meeting with Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Earlier, Harris visited the surrounding towns of Borodyanka, Nemeshaeva and Hostomel, where he witnessed firsthand the aftermath of Russian occupation and shelling back in February-March of 2022. The 2 leaders signed a joint memorandum on areas of cooperation. Ireland pledged additional funding to Kyiv in 2024, consisting of €128 million in non-lethal military support and at least €40 million in humanitarian aid. The International Atomic Energy Agency's Director General met with President Zelenskyy before visiting the Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant. In particular, Rafael Grossi was briefed on the consequences of the massive Russian attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure with ballistic and cruise missiles, along with drones. Such strikes led to the temporary disconnection of NPP units from the grid and a reduction in their capacity. For Grossi, this will be his fifth visit to the Zaporizhzhia NPP.
Some days we have some stability, and then the next day there is an event, an issue, a drone impact, or like today we had one of the two existing power lines down, which means that the station is again on the verge of being on a blackout. We had 8 of those in the past, as you know. So I would tend to agree when we say that the situation is very serious indeed.
Mongolia, an International Criminal Court statute signatory, did not arrest Vladimir Putin despite the country's obligation under the ICC warrant. The Russian self-proclaimed president was there for a 2-day official visit. This is the first time he has arrived in a Rome Statute signatory country since March 2023. Back then, the ICC issued a warrant for Putin's arrest. He is accused of the abduction and deportation of Ukrainian children. Countries that are signed up to the Rome Statute, such as Mongolia, are required to detain those who are subject to ICC arrest warrants.
Mongolia is a state party to the Rome Statute of the ICC since 2002. With the legal obligations that it entails, we have raised our concern about the visit and stated our position of the ICC clearly via our delegation in Mongolia. And of course, the EU supports the investigation by the prosecutor of the ICC in Ukraine, and we call for the full cooperation by all state parties.
In a statement to Politico on September 2nd, a Mongolian government spokesperson stated that the country finds itself in a position of energy dependence from Russia, rendering it difficult to handcuff Putin on the ICC warrant over war crimes in Ukraine. Georgy Tykhy, spokesperson for the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, called Mongolia's failure to arrest Putin a heavy blow to the international criminal justice system. Ukraine plans to hold the captured Russian territory until the end of the war, stated President Zelenskyy in an interview with NBC. He stated that this is an integral part of the plan, which will soon be presented to international partners. Although Ukraine doesn't need any Russian territory per se, the Kursk operation, according to Zelenskyy, showed the weakness of the Russian army and Putin's careless attitude towards his own land.
We knew from our intelligence that Russia was planning to set up a buffer zone, and we did understand that they would never stop. So we came to a conclusion that we had to run our own operation, so that the buffer zone was made by us, not them. Next, we showed that their own territory is unsafe. If they brought the war to us, we will return it back to sender.
The first state Ukrainian-Hungarian bilingual school was opened in Budapest. Nearly 400 children started their studies there. According to President Zelenskyy, this is an important step for a relationship between Ukraine and Hungary. He also expressed his gratitude to the entire team that worked towards this achievement, as well as to the teachers and community leaders who helped to preserve the Ukrainian language. Ukraine doubles its gold medal count at the Paralympics on day 6 of the Games in Paris. Ukrainian Paralympic athletes won 10 medals, 4 of which were gold. Shot put athlete Alexander Yarovy, runners Yulia Shular and Natalia Kobzar, alongside swimmer Yuri Shangur, all brought home the top prize in their respective disciplines. That's it for today. We're United 24 Media. Thanks for being with us and see you on Friday.